What's up, Bulls Nation? It's the Bloody Horns podcast. Make sure you're following on Twitter at Horns Bloody. Make sure you hit subscribe on this YouTube video. We're trying to grow the following here. And let's recap last night's game. So it's a big victory. I believe that's only the second time the Chicago Bulls have beat Joel Embiid since he joined the Sixers. Pretty crazy stat there. And the Sixers were at full health. They have no excuses. Everybody was playing. Embiid killed us. Tyrese Maxey went off, and the Bulls, were still able to pull out a big victory. So it was an impressive victory. We definitely need Demar DeRozan to be better. You know, some of you guys were coming at me on Twitter saying just be happy with the victory. There were a lot of people who were writing off how bad he was down the stretch just because he got those 2 free throws at the end. And if you guys have been following me for any amount of time, you know I love Demar DeRozan. He's been my favorite player in the NBA since Kobe retired. It predates him joining the Chicago Bulls. Him joining the Chicago Bulls was some of the best news I've gotten as a Chicago Bulls fan, because I'm a huge Demar DeRozan fan. Always have been, always will be. So if I'm saying he needs to be better, that's a sign that that motherfucker needs to be better, right? So down the stretch of that game, what was it? The last 4 possessions where nobody else touched the ball other than DeMar DeRozan. He kept dribbling into that mid-range isolation, and he was trying to get calls, and it just was not working. And we saw that throughout the game with DeMar. He was really foul hunting a lot. That point when Stacey King said, you know, DeMar's complaining a lot, and we rarely see that out of him, Stacey couldn't have been more wrong. DeMar DeRozan is one of the loudest chirpers in the NBA. He's not as demonstrative as like a Luka, where Luka will like yell at the refs and do all this with his hands. DeMar more just kind of shrugs, hits him with that palm up and says, come on, but he talks to the refs more than anybody. He's calling for a foul. He's begging for a foul more than anybody. Last year, it was like damn near every play he was on his ass because he would fall down on purpose trying to get calls. This year, they instituted that flopping penalty. You saw Vooch get the penalty or get the technical for that in this game. So DeMar's kind of cut that out, but he's still complaining for fouls quite a bit. And he was really foul baiting most of the game, and it was very frustrating to watch. There were so many possessions where he would drive in. The Sixers clearly knew to stay down on him because they were, and they knew that when he's pumping, that ball is pretty liable, and he was getting the ball knocked out of his hands. I counted at least 5 or 6 times in that game. So DeMar was very frustrating. The fact that Tobias Harris bailed him out on that last call and DeMar made some free throws doesn't change to me the fact that the Bulls won in spite of DeMar DeRozan. They did not win because of DeMar DeRozan. They won in spite of DeMar DeRozan, and that's not an easy way to win basketball games. You know, Kobe's playing out of his mind, but DeMar DeRozan is still the best player on this team. It's very hard to win games when you're winning in spite of your best player. So we need DeMar to be better. We need him to move the ball more. You see the Bulls offense function so much better when they're just keeping the ball moving. When it gets bogged down and he starts isolating again, that's when the Bulls get in trouble. So shout out to Kobe White, obviously, you know, 24, 9, and 8. He shot 9 of 17. That dude was everywhere. I have no complaints about Kobe White. You know, he did make one mistake, which is, I was thinking during the game about a couple minutes before this play actually happened, I was like, you know, Kobe just flat out doesn't make mistakes either. He's hitting big shots, and we're not seeing him turn the ball over. And then you saw him try to split that double team into that turnover, and that was one of the few mistakes we'll ever see Kobe White make. So Kobe played fantastic again. I really liked what I saw out of Patrick Williams. You know, the numbers don't look great. He shot 5 of 13, but he was 3 of 4 from 3. He just kind of struggled to finish at the rim a little bit, but you saw that aggression. You saw him attacking the rim. You saw him attacking Joel Embiid. Early on in the game, when Joel Embiid was going nuts, I was calling for guys to attack the rim and get him in foul trouble, and eventually we started seeing that in the second half. So Patrick Williams was aggressive. Another key point of the game was the Dalen Terry minutes. You know, Dalen Terry is one of the most hated people on Bulls Twitter. They think it's a waste of a pick, but I liked what I saw out of the kid. You know, I don't expect him to really be much of an offensive threat, but he was crashing the offensive glass. He was keeping the ball moving. He's feisty on defense. He played with energy. A lot of people are wondering why Julian Phillips isn't playing and why Dalen Terry's getting these minutes, but last night it kind of showed why, because he fits more of that guard profile. He can play that 2 or that 3. He can guard that 2 or that 3. Phillips really can't do that, and Dalen Terry's going to come out, and just like Julian Phillips, he's going to bring that energy. So overall, good win for the Chicago Bulls. We're starting to see this season turn around. Tomorrow we got the Lakers, so that's really going to be a test. I'll be back on here with a pregame preview of that with the 5 keys to victory. Like I said, please hit subscribe on YouTube. Let's grow this following a little bit. If you're not following on Twitter already, it's at Horns Bloody. You guys have a good day. Go Bulls.